Hey guys, Aaron here. Very different setting, and apologies if I'm talking a little bit quiet. All the rest of my family is asleep at the moment, and I am standing in our shed at the moment because I've got a few things I want to talk to you guys about. First of all, very big thank you, and a bit of an overwhelming feeling, I guess. I had so many people reach out to me about my collection that I'm selling. Thank you for all the really awesome comments on YouTube, the private messages, even Facebook and everything like that. I think there's a few people who shared some of the links on some of the retro Facebook groups, and they kind of blew up, and there was a couple of people like, oh my god, that guy's selling, and I'm like, yeah, I am. And then the guy's like, oh my god, it's you. It's like a few cool, funny comments and stuff. But it's been, really, really humbling and really, really cool. But I wanted to, for those of you who watch the channel and have, stayed around, I want to let you know that first of all, there is a really cool GPU June video coming. I'm getting my wife to help me with that one because I want to do something fun. I know you guys did an awesome time last year, and I actually had a video planned for last year, but unfortunately, circumstances, I just had no chance to actually finish filming it and get it done in time, and was going to delay that one until this year, and then a better opportunity came about given recent times, or recent things that have happened as I'm talking to you about. So and I think there's only one person that I've told so far that knows exactly what this video is going to be, which is cool. So if you're watching, it's going to be an awesome video. But I wanted to let you guys know what I've done. What have I done? I guess there's no easy way to say it. What have I spent the money on? Was it all worth it? And I don't know if you can tell if I'm smiling under here. I've been kind of overwhelmed by how well the cards have sold. I actually I've technically still got an entire pile of stuff underneath my retro desk, my retro setup, that I was like, this is all the stuff that I would like to sell to hit, to achieve the financial target that I wanted to. And I hit that target, and I haven't even gotten halfway through that pile yet. So there's been a few reconsiderations, and there's not as in there's been any regretful sales. Definitely I'm going to be selling the rest of the stuff still, and just sort of putting the money in towards, just a bit of safekeeping money, I guess, things like that. So, but I wanted to show you guys what I got. And to do that, I kind of want to show you what I had, so you understand why I wanted to do this and upgrade to what I've done. So I'm going to show you my golf clubs, and I will hopefully be able to find this photo to show you that I want to show you. It's of me at I think 14 or 15. I'm standing next to my sister, I think, and I've got my golf clubs in front of me. That's when I got given them. I think it was the day or somewhere around there where I got given these golf clubs by my parents, and I still have them here next to me. Not going to be getting rid of them because they are a bit special, and I'm going to keep them as a second set because they're still playable for a casual player that wants to come and, I've got family that play golf, so it'll be handy to have a second set here. But for myself personally, to improve and, get a set that's suitable for me, I had to go out and buy a new set. So let's talk to you about what I've had. So I'm going to turn the camera off and then put it in my hand and sort of show you around what my set was, and then I'll do the same thing about what my new set is. So back in 2 seconds. Okay, so this is my old set. It's probably one of the things I do really, really like still is this bag. It is a really nice Tommy Armour bag. This is an old school bag from the 90s. It's very worn. A lot of the rivets and the things are rusted. If that's going to focus. it's not in the best of shape. A lot of the zip, like the zip pull things, are broken. In fact, I actually broke one right before starting to film this on the rain cover, which is here. I actually broke that right as I started filming tonight. So there you go. They're that old, and I think there's one broken on here, down here as well. But this is my old set. Now, ignore this club here. Let me spin this back around. So ignore this one. This was actually a later gift from my dad out of his old set when he sold it before he moved and blah, blah. But basically all of this is all the existing, the stuff that I had when I was a kid. My original putter, which, I mean, yeah. This thing's not in great shape. It's also really, really heavy and not very weighted, not weighted very well. I've had it re-gripped with a bigger grip, but it's just, yeah, it's not very nice. I mean, the face of it is uneven, so I don't even know if I'm going to hit the ball straight when I hit it. So yeah, the bulk, my irons are all the same. They're one set. They are a PGF Inceptor OS Series 3 oversized clubs, basically a hollow back design. Technically, this set, it's like a unisex set, so it was made to be very forgiving for both men and women. It has the men stiff shaft in it rather than the lightweight female one, or the more flexible female one, but they're full-sized adult clubs, and I was a small kid, so these were too big and too stiff even for me when I was a kid. But I grew into them, and as I got more power, they were, you know, okay. But they're beaten to hell. Like, they're very worn, very they're not in the best shape. They play for like the casual person that wants to come and play, and for what I did, they worked. But probably the worst, the flaw of the set, I mean, other than the putter, the irons were still passable, was the woods. The driver, which is that one, and then the 5 and the 3. They are not in good condition, and they are not really suitable for modern day playing. The irons are, as I mentioned, are passable, but yeah. And yes, it's messy in here as hell. This is my, that's on the ground, my garage. So yeah, so this is the driver. Now that's the face of the driver. That's like, I can't hit a ball off of that to save my life. It's just not. Yeah. So it was just not great. And then the others are basically the same. I think the only wood that I really got along with was the 5 wood, and can technically still hit to this day, but as you'll see, it's still not. The face is at least kind of okay where you would hit the ball, but I mean, there's like a massive gouge here. You know, these were just, these are from the 90s, so they're just not, you know, not that good. And then my dad got me this one when I got kind of back into golf not that long ago, and this is basically it's a more modern size, so it is like an oversized head driver, and this was doing okay. 10.5 degree loft, however, is not suitable for me. It's too much, so I hit the ball too high and not far enough, so I had to kind of adjust. And also the shaft on this one is way too flexible for me, so, and it torques, so as I'm swinging it, the shaft basically twists like this, and so I'm hitting the ball at this angle instead of this angle. So I had to compensate for that by basically holding it like this at the ball, and so by the time it torqued, it was straight by the time I wanted to hit the ball, and that is not good. So it's definitely meant for someone like my dad who had, you know, doesn't have power, you know, or strength. So So, the reason I'm sort of going to go into a bit more detail about these clubs for you guys on this retro channel, on the PC channel, is that I think you guys will be quite proud of the way I've done this and what I've bought, I hope. So, for someone who is interested in rare collectible things, I did not just go out and go buy all brand new latest stuff. I actually did a mix of new and used. I bought a new buggy because the old rusted one from the 90s was falling apart and squeaked like crazy, even with WD-40 on it, so that thing was just not good. So I bought a new awesome buggy. I bought a new bag to house everything, a modern day one with like your backpack straps as well, so when I go to the golf range I can just put it on my, carry it on my back. I don't have to take the buggy with me. And it's a third of the weight, almost a quarter of the weight of what the old big leather one was. So it's like 2.1 or 2.2 kilo, whereas that other one is 7. So yeah, but I'm going to go through the irons first because they are kind of the highlight of this set, and they were the first club purchase, because the rest of the set that I bought and the rest of my budget depended on whether I won these irons or not. I originally found them on Facebook and was going to be buying them for a fixed price. However, the guy also had them listed on eBay, and I think 24 hours after I first contacted him, someone put a bid on them on eBay. And so then I had to wait a week and had a week of anxiety hoping that I would buy them. Now, I had a budget for what I wanted to spend, and that was up to the cost of what it was going to cost me to buy a brand new set of equivalent clubs. But I smashed it, I should say. I got them I got the used ones for a bargain, a really big bargain, considering that these are rare. They're not rare in the sense that you don't see them. They're not rare in the sense of a FX 5800 Ultra, but think of them like a 3DFX Voodoo 5 5500, a company that no longer makes video cards. This is a company that no longer makes golf clubs, and this was one of their best ever products that is highly rated. It is also suitable for my type of gameplay as a high handicap player with some strength and needing some forgiveness, but needing some distance and a little bit of control. It was either this set or brand new, and I won this set, and I'm ecstatic because they are incredible. For those of you who are in the golf, know anything about golf, in 2016, a very big brand that was sponsoring big people and is still probably one of the biggest sports companies in the world, at the start of the year signed all these pros, provided them with all this golf equipment, and then in August of 2016 they blew the golf world away and just said, yeah, we're no longer making equipment anymore. I think they stopped all of their clubs, all of their bags. They're still doing shoes and they're just doing clothing, but I think they stopped all the main things, so like your clubs and your bags and I think balls as well. And that company makes, I got this really cool, I probably should do it the right way. It's not Golf Pride, that's the name of the brand of the grip, which if you know what, Golf Pride's one of the more popular brands. But if you know the company that used, if I can get it in the light, hopefully. This is a Fubuki. I call it Fubuki. It's probably pronounced differently. But this is a Fubuki graphite shaft. And on the end of it are these Nike Vapor Speeds. That's just not going to be in focus, and also the colouring of that is going to be blown out because of my light that I've got on here. So these irons that are in fairly immaculate, I played today so they might be a little bit dirty, but they are in fairly immaculate condition considering their age. These are from 2016, the year that they stopped making clubs, so this is one of their last sets. I got a set of the 8 irons, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pitching wedge, approach wedge or gap wedge, and sand wedge. So I got the 8 set for like $830, which is incredible because even sets with less clubs than this, with the steel shaft, go for over like $1,200–1,300. So to get the graphite shaft, the stiff graphite shaft, which is the best shaft for out of the graphite bundle, it's the Z70s. It's incredible, especially with the original, the Cool Golf Pride grips that match the yellow Volt coloured yellow, fluoro yellow Nike stuff. So they are a collector's item. Not rare enough that I would not want to play them, but rare enough that when people see them, they're like, "Oh, you've got Nikes." Like, yeah, I do. Yeah. So I did it right. I bought something for a bargain that's a really rare collectible thing that I might retire at some point and buy a new set down the track. But for now, at least for the next several years or more, I've played these today for the first time. I taken them out to the range the other day, but to properly play them, you obviously need to go out and play golf. So I took them out today, and they were amazing. Yeah, they're really, really good. They suit my gameplay. They feel really nice. They sound really nice. They're incredible. Yeah, I'm not going to go into too much more detail, but let's get to the more other clubs, the cool clubs. I'll do the putter next because it's right there anyway. So I picked up one of these. I'm doing a lot of trialing and testing. Oh, and if you know about golf, you can either go and buy stuff off the shelf, you can go and buy a full set that's like a, you know, everything in the bag set by one company, or you can do what most people recommend you do if you want to play golf, is go get fitted, where it's basically you go and get fitted for clubs. So I've done that, and then had a look at the budget, realised that, okay, the most important things is I need to get fitted for like your fairway woods and your putter and irons as well, but the irons that I was going to get fitted into are technically in the same category as these Nikes anyway. And these Nikes pretty much were along the same line of what I was going to get fitted into, but much cheaper. It was going to cost me like $1,400–1,500 for a set of irons, brand new. And I'm like, no. But the putter I picked up is this one. It is, if it's going to focus, a TaylorMade Spider GT, and I got the black, the stealth one, number 3. And it does come with this really cool little magnetic case that you pop it into. This putter is awesome. With all the irons and stuff, there was one iron that I was missing that I really, really wanted, and that was a proper like lob wedge, which is like you're very, you know, if you're almost near the green, like 50, 30, 40 meters away, that sort of maybe 60 meters away, and you want to do this nice, like really high over a bunker down onto the green and have it like stop and spin. The sand wedge in here is like, I think it's 54 degrees. That's okay, a little bit long, but it doesn't have enough grip on it to be able to do proper backspin to, you know, have the ball stop dead essentially. So I picked up this as well. Oh god, that light is blowing it out like crazy. Hang on. There we go. I turned that down a bit so you can actually see this now. There we go. So it is a Callaway Jaws full toe, and by full toe it means that the grip and the lines, the grooves, are across the full face of the club with a very high toe. And there's also another cross pattern, and this surface is actually going to rust over time. It's meant to. But this is a 58 degree with a 10 degree bounce in a steel shaft, because I really like wedges with a steel shaft, because you can feel, you don't need the flexibility because you're not putting a lot of power in. Most of the time you're doing like a half swing, and you need as much feedback and control as possible when you're using your wedges. So I picked this one up, and let's just say today this club was the hero of my day today, because it was very windy, very stormy, And first time playing with new clubs, didn't go that well because I'm still adjusting to them a bit. It was windy as hell, but this thing saved my bacon so much because I would like land it short of the green, off to the side of the green, and every time this thing chipped it within a metre of the hole. And then I would putt in, and I was like, oh my god, I got saved by this thing. So, yeah. In fact, the one time I tried the sand wedge because I landed in a bunker, I thinned it, as in I didn't get under the ball. I like hit the ball with the blade of the club, and it went flying up over the green into the other bunker. And I'm like, oh no, I'm not using that club. I pulled this one out and then lobbed it within 2 feet of the hole. So, yay. Then we come on to the 2 new clubs and the other second-hand club that I purchased. And I'll start with the second-hand one first. So I mentioned to you in my old original clubs that my 5-wood was the one that I got along with the most. So for those of you that play golf, the 7-iron is usually like, the 7-iron is out of the full set of irons, that's the club that usually everyone feels the most comfortable with. It's also the one when you go to get fitted, they have a 7-iron of all the examples of all the different irons. For example, that you don't usually get fitted in all the different numbers up and down the range. You get fitted with the 7-iron and then you go from there. Well, for me, it was always the 5-wood that I felt comfortable with out of all the woods. Driver's a little bit different. That's in its sort of a category of its own, whereas your fairway woods are sort of another category. The 3-wood I would always feel a little bit uncomfortable with, but my 5-wood was always a rocket ship. That old 5-wood I can still hit 200 meters. So, yeah. So, I like the loft of that, which is it's a higher loft for a 5-wood. It's a 21 degree instead of, I think, 19, 18 and a half. 18 to 19 is the usual these days. But I like the loft of that 5-wood. So, I got another 21 degree wood. Now, this is a second-hand one. Same company as the putter, and that's TaylorMade. I picked up a 5HL, which is high loft, AeroBurner 5-wood, and it's 21 degrees, the same as the other one. In the original AeroBurner shaft, which is a regular flex 60, and it's quite nice. And it has a brand new grip on it as well. Yeah, a nice cool white head on it. Oh man, it looks so nice. Let me show you the bottom of it. I like the look of this club. It's a bit old. I think it's maybe 2015, 2016. I'm going to have to double check. I could be well off there, but oh god, please. There you go. Yeah. But this thing's a rocket ship. It's got you a little bit of wear and tear on the face, but for a second-hand club, this thing is in immaculate condition. Usually your shafts have like lots of scratch marks from being thrown in the bag and rattling around with other clubs, and the heads of these usually get chipped a lot from banging other clubs. But thankfully the original owner, if I can grab it, always used it with what's known as the head cover, which is like the sock that basically goes over it to protect it. So other than just the usual grass marks on the heel, it's not too bad actually. However, as much as I like that head cover, that's not the head cover that I'm going to use on it. I'm not one to show off the brands of my clubs too much, but I'm a bit more of a funny conversation starter when it comes to golf. So I got an owl that has wings. This is actually from the same company, Delphin, the same company that makes Tiger Woods' orange tiger that he puts on his driver. Yeah, so I've got an owl that goes on my wood. I also have another owl that goes on another wood, but this one's a different owl. This is actually Owl X. For those of you who may or may not follow golf, there's an English YouTuber living in Australia, working for one of the biggest retailers. I think he's associated with the biggest retailers, but he runs the YouTube channel called Golf Box TV. And this is his head cover. It's one of the things you can purchase from golfbox.com. So with all the new clubs that I bought came from that company. So basically they're just one of the best in Australia for price and customer service and stuff as well, which has proven to be good because unfortunately there's a fault with my putter and I have to send it away for warranty because the grip is misaligned on it. So thankfully TaylorMade is actually looking after that and doing a complete pickup and re-grip of it for me for free, which is awesome. But these things happen. Anyway, I'll show you what this is covering. It is so stealthy you can't see it. It's a TaylorMade Stealth. This is the 3-wood. Again, it's the high loft version because I've always struggled with my fairway woods and getting them up off the ground. Hitting them like skipping along a pond was my usual thing. So I needed to go with a loft. So that's again why I went with the AeroBurner 5-wood in the high loft in that loft setting because I need it. And same thing with the 3-wood as well. So this has a really nice carbon crown on it. They've got the speed pocket technology, and yeah, I've already done a few hits with it today. Left a nice toey mark on it if it's going to focus. Let's see, there's a big golf ball mark here where I crowned one, but yeah, this has been already used this today quite well. That's really nice. It looks really nice. This one I got in the standard regular Ventus shaft that you can get. It's like the standard option that ships with this club. I like it, and it's the one that I got fitted to, which is quite nice. So it matches my swing. It's flexible, but I don't have to put a huge amount of power into my fairway woods. So I like the flex in them a little bit. So they're quite nice. I managed to stick Al in the right hole. The next one is, for those of you who are familiar with Australian television and Australian icons, my next one is Blinky Bill. Or a very angry Blinky Bill. Maybe get him at the right angle. Oh, he's tired. It is 11 o'clock at night, so yeah. Again, the Stealth clubs do actually come with their own head covers, but these things are just not that nice. And I like the animals. They're funny. Yeah, my son likes them at least. It's cool, and I can do things like this and pretend I'm. Yeah. Anyway, you won't actually see what's under it. Again, don't want to hit what's behind me. I went with a Stealth driver. Just the standard Stealth. I got it in 10.5, but it is actually cranked down. Standard. Actually, it's sitting at standard at the moment because I changed it this afternoon when I was doing a bit of testing. But my regular use will actually be on the 8.5 setting because I don't need that much loft. I can get under it really well, actually. But this thing's special. Unlike the fairway wood, this thing has a 60-layer carbon fiber face. I think it's the only driver at the moment in the world that has a proper carbon fiber face. All the rest is still like titanium and stuff. So this thing's super lightweight. It's surprised me considering how big this is. This is what's known as 460cc, whereas that other black old driver from my old set is only 400. And that thing weighs a ton compared to this. So yeah, again, I got it in the standard Ventus shaft. It's the one that ships with it. It's quite nice. But my old driver, as in the black one, I was hitting it around 180 to 190 meters. What's known as carry, which means where it first hits the ground, and barely breaking 200. But never, very rare did I get it straight. I had to compensate so much for that driver by like twisting it. It was just, yeah. This thing I don't have to. I can do a proper golf shot, hold it properly. And this thing's going 240 carry, 250 carry. And then it's like, because of the low spin and the way it's like landing and stuff, it's, you know, going over 250. It's, you know, hitting 260, 270 in terms of its overall distance, which is nice. In fact, today on I think it was, I don't remember the hole, but the club that the course that I was playing at has a couple of par fives in the front nine, and I think I managed to almost hit the 300 meter mark with like a dead straight one. And another bit of technology I bought was what's known as a Sure Shot golf watch, and basically it tracks all your golf shots. So all of my clubs actually have these little badges. Was it gonna focus? Maybe not. Anyway, all of the clubs have these little things screwed into the end of the grips, and they connect via Bluetooth and connect to the watch. And so you take a practice swing, and then it detects what club you're holding, and then it'll measure from where you hit it to then where it ends. It won't obviously track the ball, but when you walk to the hole, to the ball, and you then change clubs, whatever, it detects how far it's gone. And I think I hit like 297 meters with this thing dead straight down a fairway, and I was like, I've never broken 250, let alone nearly hit 300. I was like, holy shit. Now, granted, that was a very windy day. The wind was behind me, so it was going the same direction I was hitting, so it probably got an extra 20 meters because of the wind. But yeah. So that's the new set. It is a really cool set. I may end up changing the shafts in the irons to steel, because I'm probably going to prefer going back to a steel shaft. I like the feeling and the feedback that a stiffer, heavier steel shaft offers over graphite. The old graphite shafts in these old irons, they're very, very stiff, so they almost feel like a regular flex steel shaft now. In fact, a guy that had them re-gripped, he goes, these things are like rock solid. And I'm like, yeah, they're old school 90s graphite, so there's a bit of flex but not much. So I'm probably going to go back to steel shafts in these at some point. It's going to be sad because I don't really want to get rid of these original shafts, but if I want to game these long term and improve, I actually might need to change the shafts in them just to get them to play the way that I want to and feel the way that I want. So yeah. But anyway, guys, that's a look at the new equipment. Yeah, it's been such a difference between going from these old ones, which, you know, especially the driver. I mean, to be honest, the putter. It was very common for me to get onto a green in what's known as regulation. So like your 2 or your 3 shots, you know, from the tee to get onto the green, like the putting green. But then I would double my score on that hole from just doing 3 or 4 putts, because the putter was just infuriating. Yeah, it was not suited to my height, to my build, the way that I putt, the way I hold it. It was just not comfortable. So this one it's got proper weighting to it. It feels comfortable, and I'm now doing like 1 or 2 putts instead of 3 or 4. So all of a sudden I've knocked like several points off my handicap. In theory, I haven't properly done enough playing yet to really see the effect of that, but you know, I'm suddenly getting like 1 over par, maybe 2 over par on a bad hole, rather than it always being, oh yeah, I only got a bogey, like as in I only got 1 over par this hole. Whereas previously it was like, yeah, oh, I got 4 over par. Oh, I got an 8 or a 7 or a 6. You know, it was rare to par a hole. today I did 2 birdies on a par 4 and a par 3, which is pretty easy, but I can't remember the last time I ever birdied 2 holes in only playing 9 holes instead of the full 18. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for the GPU June video. It will be later in the month. Going to be doing some filming for it this weekend and next weekend, and then basically have it edited and ready to go by the end of the month, or probably a week before the end of the month. But it's going to be a fun little quirky video. Probably not very informative, but I don't know, it'll be a light-hearted one out of the playlist, I reckon. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and if you are interested in following my golf journey at all, my other channel, which is like my unbranded, just Modsy channel, I'm just going to be doing golf vlog videos and things like that up there. I'm going to be doing a proper like what's in my bag, and showing a bit more the bag and all the bits and pieces and stuff that I have in there. So I'm doing a dedicated video for that. But yeah, anyway, it's freezing cold out here. Gonna pack up and head to bed. So sayonara. See you guys later.